So for years, the world had measured power by noise, by how hard a chip can push, how high it can score, how bright it can burn. But Apple, well, it's been engineering something quieter, smarter, and powerful. Meet the Apple A19 Pro. This A19 Pro isn't chasing the chaos of benchmarks. It's rewriting what performance feels like. Precision instead of panic. Stability instead of spikes. Each layer of this 3nm design is a deliberate act of control. 2 high-performance cores that strike with purpose. 4 efficiency cores that carry the load in silence. Together, they form a system that doesn't just run. While others push boundaries until they break, Apple leads them until they align. The result? A chip that doesn't just lead in power. It redefines the meaning of efficiency itself. This is the A19 Pro Power, engineered to stay composed. And yes, if you're new here, then please do me a favor and subscribe to my channel to never miss some awesome reviews like this one. Now, when the numbers finally arrive, the silence broke. On the AnTuTu version 10, the Apple A19 Pro hits a total score of 2,579,066. The kind of result that doesn't scream dominance. Break it down and you will see the story unfold. CPU scored 890,763 points. GPU scored 917,743 points. Memory scored 386,000. And finally, the UX scored 384,516. And friends, these results shift depending on which iPhone you're holding. The iPhone 17 Pro Max leads with 2,579,326, followed by the iPhone 17 Pro at 2,376,461 points, and iPhone 17 Air with 2,116,925 points. Totally expected given the Air's slimmer design and lighter thermal headroom. Then there's the Geekbench 6. The A19 Pro posts 3,899 in single core and 10,021 in multi-core. Pure efficiency and control in motion. Now, the heart of the Apple Silicon story has never been about how much. It's about how well. And A19 Pro is proof that efficiency can be most lethal form of performance. Built on TSMC's refined 3nm process AnTuTu, this A19 Pro carries a 6-core architecture. 2 high-performance cores clock at 4.26 GHz and 4 efficiency cores clock at 2.6 GHz. These efficiency cores aren't background players anymore. They're Apple's silent weapon with wider decode, more ALUs, and a shared 16 MB of L2 cache memory. They handle most workloads without ever waking the big cores. All of it runs on ARM version 9.2/A instruction set, designed for modern efficiency and raw throughput. It's Apple's favorite kind of flex, not louder, just smarter. And then there's the GPU. Apple's own 6-core graphics engine clocked at 1.62 GHz, running 6 pipelines, 128 shading units, and total of 768 shaders, delivering a peak of 2.4 teraflops in GPU test. Plus, the memory has always been Apple's quiet superpower. Inside this A19 Pro, that philosophy lives on. It runs on 12 GB of unified LPDDR5X memory, clocked at 4800 MHz, spread across 4x16-bit bus with a maximum bandwidth of 75.8 gigabits per second. Paired with NVMe storage and an expanded system-level cache, now 32 MB, works like a backstage crew, preloading frames, AI tasks, and texture before you even noticed. Now, gaming on this A19 Pro on iPhone 17 Pro Max isn't feel like mobile gaming anymore. It feels like smartphones have quietly entered console territory. Apple didn't build this GPU to chase frame rates. It built it to sustain them. Real-time ray tracing, Metal 3 optimizations, and a vapor chamber cooling system work together to deliver what gamers crave most: consistency. It's not about hitting 120 FPS for a minute. It's about holding it for hours. Titles like Genshin Impact, that's trending, and Resident Evil 4 doesn't just run, they breathe. Frame pacing stays steady, lighting cinematic, reflections alive, and the phone stays cool even under console level loads. That is the harmony between Apple's hardware and Metal API. Every pixel rendered, every texture streamed, and every ray traced with purpose. No wasted energy, no stutter, just fluid, deliberate motion. Even in 20-minute stress test, stability holds above 70% with no throttling or collapsing curves. The A19 Pro endures its own power, and that's what separates control from chaos. This isn't mobile gaming anymore. It's Apple proving that next generation of performance doesn't need to shout, it just needs to deliver. Now, AI is a new buzzword everyone's chasing, but Apple's take isn't about noise or spectacle, it's about presence. A19 Pro's redesigned 16-core neural engine sits deep in the silicon, now capable of processing around 160 tokens per second. It's paired with neural accelerator inside each GPU core, allowing parallel AI in graphics processing. Multiple minds thinking in sync, entirely on device. Apple's approach is personal and private. Translation, photo enhancement, object detection, generative images, all happens locally, fast and secure. No cloud lag, no data leaving your pocket. Its 12GB of LPDDR5X unified memory gives every core full bandwidth access, ensuring minimal latency and smooth execution for real-time AI tasks, from photo refinement to on-device large language models like Llama 1B and Qwen 1B. Apple's architecture focuses on tight integration and privacy, keeping computation local while maintaining high efficiency and thermal balance. In pure power, Snapdragon may be faster and more flexible, but Apple remains the master of consistency, security, and optimization. The A19 Pro doesn't just run AI, it lives it quietly, intelligently, and beautifully. Now, the Apple A19 Pro's custom image signal processor works in sync with the neural engine, decoding light and texture through billions of calculations each second. It supports 48MP plus 64MP dual processing, ProRes 8K HDR video, and even spatial capture with depth fusion, the kind of pipeline that redefines mobile cinematography. Smart HDR, photonic engine, and deep fusion aren't just features anymore. They are instincts. Using semantic fusion, the chip balances shadows and highlights for preserving realistic skin tones and depth in every frame. The result feels human, sharp, but never artificial. And then there's video. A19 Pro's quiet showstopper. It records 8K at 60 FPS with adaptive Dolby Vision and real-time depth compositing, still setting the benchmarks for video quality. Add ProRes RAW, Apple Lock 2, and Genlock Sync, and you got the tools that belong in a studio, now running effortlessly in your hand. Now, every hue and flicker on the iPhone 17 Pro Max screen is driven by the Apple A19 Pro's Display Engine 4, powering a ProMotion LTPO panel 1 to 120Hz with XDR brightness, Dolby Vision, and HDR10 Plus support. And when it comes to sound, the Apple A19 Pro completes the picture, supporting spatial audio, 24-bit high-resolution playback, and AI acoustic correction tuned through AirPod sensors for personalized sound. Now, the connectivity isn't just about signal strength, it's about presence. Apple takes a different route with its N1 networking chip, merging Wi-Fi 7, Bluetooth 6.0, ultra-wideband Gen 2, and Thread into one unified connection hub. Every link, airdrop, personal hotspot responds instantly because it's driven by silicon, not software. A19 Pro and the iPhone 17 Pro and the Pro Max is powered with a custom-tuned Qualcomm X80 modem, capable of 10 Gbps 5G download and 3.5 Gbps upload speeds through mmWave sub-6 GHz aggregation. The tight integration between the neural engine and modem enables predictive network management, learning your patterns and pre-optimizing for signal and efficiency. Meanwhile, the new iPhone 17 Air debuts with Apple's first C1X modem, smaller, cooler, and smarter with energy use. It reaches 5.8 Gbps Wi-Fi 7 speeds and marks Apple's first real step forward with full modem independence. The real advantage isn't just about raw bandwidth, it's coordination. iOS intelligently decided when to switch Wi-Fi and 5G, when to limit power, draw midstream, and when to push full speed. The result? Perfect handoff across AirDrop, continuity, and personal hotspot. And friends, that brings me to my final word. Well, this Apple A19 Pro is a chip that doesn't chase attention. It earns it through silence, through stability, through that feeling you got when everything just works, when performance feels effortless, not forced. This Apple A19 Pro isn't just the fastest chip Apple's ever made. It's the most thoughtful. Every transistor, every watt, every pixel is optimized not just to impress a chart, but to make technology feel human again. Because in the real world, obsessed with acceleration, Apple chose refinement. So yes, this Apple A19 Pro is powerful, but more than that, it's composed. And maybe that's the real benchmark we've been missing all along. So friends, that's all for this review. I hope you liked and enjoyed this video. If you did, then please subscribe to my channel and press the bell icon to name us a review video like this one. And if you like this video, then give it a thumbs up and leave your thoughts in the comment section. I would love to answer them. So my name is Hamza, this is Stick, and I'll catch you in the next one. If you want to watch the full review of the Apple A17 Pro, then that video is right here. And if you want to watch the full review of the Apple A16 Bionic, then that video is right here. Thank you for watching.